We're going to visit Old Salem and Bethabara Park. Be sure to watch till the end to see who wins my vote. Today we're in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. We're going to check out the historic town of Old Salem. Thanks for stopping by. We're in the visitor center and we're going to go buy our tickets. Old Salem Incorporated was established by a group of volunteers in 1950, and they began restoring the town and gardens. You do not need a ticket to walk along the streets of Old Salem, only to go in some of the buildings. As you exit the covered bridge, the first stop is the Frank L. Horton Museum. In the Moravian Gallery, you will find furniture that was made at Old Salem. In 1753, a group of Moravians purchased 100,000 acres in North Carolina and named that tract Wachovia. And we're going to head up Main Street towards the Potter's Workshop. Hopefully that's open. I was talking to one of the docents, and they said that during the pandemic, a lot of the staff had to leave, and so many of the trades have been shut down. This is the gunsmith. They've done a beautiful job maintaining all of these buildings. Well, they have an old pump. Let's go see if it works. Pottery is one of the interpretive things that they've got still going on. Let's go on in and check it out. The interpreters that were working did a great job. Unfortunately, Old Salem does not allow videotaping of the interpretive staff. This surprised me, as I have not run into it at any other historic site. Apparently fire safety was a big thing, so they had buckets filled with sand ready so that if they had a fire they could put it out, and they have these all over the place. You'll definitely get your steps in walking around Old Salem. I did almost 3 miles. One of the highlights of my trip to Old Salem was the home Moravian church. I found it interesting that the pews were not straight in rows, but more of a semicircle around the pastor. They also had some beautiful stained glass. Overall, I had a nice visit to Old Salem. They've done a great job on restoration. I did feel a bit let down by the lack of trades and the number of closed buildings. Now let's check out historic Bethabara. You will find archaeological sites, reconstruction of past buildings, and restored original buildings on this site. And so now, would they have also called that a Schnitzelbank?
Pardon me?
A Schnitzelbank?
Yeah. And one of there were several uses for this, but the primary was doing the shaving the shingles.
Right.
And they would have done handles for tools.
The historic interpreters at Bethabara Park made you feel like you were stepping back in time. I was happy the interpreters allowed me to videotape them so that you can really get a feel for what the site is like. Sounds great.
Is he working at your
Someone was living here?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Shortly thereafter, the Wachovia Historical Society convinced him to sell, and so they did. The foundation here that you see is original. The clapboard that's out in the eaves or in the gable ends are original pieces of wood.
This is the trapper's cabin that they have here. Let's go take a look. Not the Ritz-Carlton. Here's the sleeping hall.
Construction of this GEMEINHAUS was made from fieldstone. You can see sections of the roof were constructed from bricks, but for the most part it was that fieldstone that you can kind of see little bits and pieces of on this end of the GEMEINHAUS.
Speak with the pastor about something going on. We've got our flax spinning wheel. So in the evenings or throughout the day at various times, the pastor's wife or just women in general, because this would have been a common piece in most homes, would probably be spinning flax into linen.
The rope bed with the rope key.
But in addition to the bake oven, we have the hearth here, where they would have done like their stews, toasting of breads, or heated up water for coffee and tea for small batches. In the next room, we've got a really, really big kettle that would have been used for the coffee for their love feast. So cutting bowl. So what you would have done as you would have had the bread dough, probably kneaded it in here, and you would have used this knife to slice it into smaller pieces for baking. They would have held like the slate that each individual boy would have been using, and possibly their slate pencils as well. But the size actually kind of indicated how old you were.
Okay, so the older you are, the bigger drawer you need.
Exactly. My large kettle that they would have used for preparing the coffee for the love feast ceremonies.
There is just so much to love about Bethabara Park. Most of it was free. It was only $4 for a guided tour of the GEMEINHAUS, and the interpreters were top-notch. This one wins my vote.